Hello, hola, and buenas buenas. Greetings from Los Angeles. Welcome to the first episode of La Cuna Mundialista, a podcast made with love. The World Cup is set to kick off next week on American soil with the first match at Estadio Azteca. But the next day, the soccer world is coming to Los Angeles for the first U.S. group match. As the U.S. opens their campaign in Los Angeles, we'll be joined by Evan Levitt from LA in a minute to bring you everything you need to know, both on and off the field, with everything from whom the tournament's favorites are to where the best local watch parties can be found. We'll be with you every Monday night until the World Cup ends, and tonight we'll begin with the series with a preview of this global tournament as seen through the best city in the world's perspective, Los Angeles, as it becomes the center of the soccer world. Plus, we bring you some World Cup tune-up friendly scores, all that and more, coming up on La Cuna Galaxiana. La Cuna Mundialista. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon, and you can usually find my written work at the Sporting Tribune, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. And my co-host is Ananda Kirana. And for those of you that don't know, he's El Papito de Natita y El Yerno Guapo y El Gitano Perdido. Papa, it's the first La Cuna Mundialista. Thank you, Joe 13 Cool, by the way, for that. How you feeling, man? I mean, we're only days away now.
Days away. What is that? 10 days until the opening match, and another day after that till the opening match for the U.S. men's national team in LA. Man, it's we've been talking about it for a while, for a couple seasons. You know, I know this is a Galaxy-centric pod, but when you have an event like this in the global stage, I would arguably the biggest sporting event in the world. It's exciting times right now. I know there's all these issues like ticket prices and things like that, but the more closer it gets to the tournament, the more I kind of push those to the side and try to, connect with the tournament and the love for this game and this sport, and not to get any of those things get in the way of just why I fell in love with the sport, right? And the World Cup is that in its finest form, in its purest form, and man, it's going to be exciting for that tournament to come here in our backyard, literally in our backyard, for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. It's right around the corner. I mean, we're in the World Cup month. I mean, it's June 1st, and it's appropriate that this is the first episode of La Cuna Mundialista because it is June 1st, and we are so close. And if you're here, it's a good bet that you're here because of our usual coverage of the Los Angeles Galaxy and MLS, and you're one of the almost 900 subscribers to the show. We thank you, all you Cuneros, for being here as always. We have something new in store for you guys tonight, and we hope you like it. We hope you dig it. As usual, help us put out the word on this humble little podcast and put someone onto the show, especially now as we broaden our focus a little bit to the World Cup coverage. And as usual, the easiest way to support the show is by simply sharing that we're out here and we're doing this. So, like I said, put someone on. And if it's your first time here, if we were somehow lucky enough to find us through the algorithm, or you just simply wanted some World Cup coverage, Benjamin, thank you so much for being the first time here. Yeah, man, it's fate. We found each other. I mean, the algorithm brought you here. Whatever brought you here, we thank you for it. Thanks for stopping by. We hope you like something you see here and stop by again for our regular coverage. we're gonna have a lot of World Cup stuff going on here for La Cuna, and now that I'm on the subject, we're gonna have our regular focus on Spain and Ecuador, which are our focus countries, and of course the United States. Our regular Monday live streams, which is today's the first one of many. We're gonna do minuto stories of the day, which watch out for those, and a lot more. So just watch out for that, guys. And of course, if you're here, go ahead and subscribe, and that's how you'll know that we have amazing guests like Evan from LA in a Minute fame coming on. Met this cat, lucky enough to have met him, and yeah, just such a good guy, and favorite LA son, if I do gotta say, man. But you'll only know when we have amazing guests like that if you hit that notification bell or that subscribe. Once Evan comes on, go ahead and hit up the super chats if you got something burning to get off your chest, if you got something to say, if you got a question for him, question for us, let us know. Hit up the super chats. And just a reminder, guys, we are on all the socials, including Blue Sky, including Carrier Pigeon, MySpace, Foursquare, all that kind of stuff. So, check it out. Ananda, tell them all about that Pepe Magana interview, man.
Yeah, and this is mostly for the Galaxy fans. So if you guys do come here for the Galaxy content, go ahead and check out that Pepe Magana interview. He is an up-and-coming Mexican American. Again, this is one of those interesting things about the World Cup, and that this dual nationality folks that and players that come up the ranks. That's probably a podcast in and of itself. But check out that.
To him about that too.
Up and coming defender for Ventura County FC. Again, a local LA product. He talked about in the interview, not to spoil too much, but growing up on the parks in Long Beach, and that's how he started playing this beautiful game. So check that out, guys, for sure. By the way, guys, Rob told you everything that you need to know about this show, but also do us a favor. If you're on your way in or maybe later on your way out, go ahead and hit those likes. That would really help out. Again, get people in here that may not see us otherwise. So that would really help out the show as well, especially during the World Cup. Again, this is Rob and I when we were talking about doing this World Cup coverage, we really wanted to make this as hyper local as possible, serving all the communities of LA. Cause now it's not necessarily like, the one side of LA versus the other in terms of MLS and all the banter and stuff. That's fun. That's fun, but there's time and place for that. Now it's about, embracing the whole community of LA as it's set to host the biggest sporting event I think in the world.
It's going to be the center of the soccer world, man. Like no shade to any other city out there, but it's really, the U.S. is camped here. It's the eyes of the world are going to be on Los Angeles, and it's no wonder why. It's LA is the shit, man. So and that's why we're doing a trying to bring you this World Cup preview through the eyes of what's going on here, like boots on the ground. But anyway, before we get to Evan and all the talk here about Los Angeles, we do got to call out that Maya Yoshida was sent off in his international career with the Guard of Honor. He was recognized in Japan's 1-0 win over Iceland. Koki Ogawa got the winner in that one. But Yoshida was the real winner, as he was given that Guard of Honor, and Japan got to show what his service meant to the national team. Really, really nice of them. It's a really nice tribute to him. So congratulations to Maya. While we're on Galaxy news, Ananda, I don't know if you have a slide for this one, but you actually broke the news to me just a little while ago that the Galaxy's Joseph Paintsil did not make the Ghana roster. Carlos Queiroz named his roster just a short time ago. I would say, 2 hours ago, Ananda?
Yep, 2 or 3 hours ago.
Yeah, that broke about 2 hours ago, and unfortunately, Joseph Paintsil did not make that roster. So gutted for him. I know when we spoke to him in Galaxy's post-match presser a couple weeks ago, he was very calm about it. He said if it was to be, it was to be, and he was very calm about everything. But gutted for him because we see how hard he works. Our our thoughts are with him. We know he wanted to be out there and represent his country, but moving on to the USA, Pochettino, Mauricio Pochettino, the men's U.S. national team coach, named his captain for the tournament, Tim Ream, the Charlotte defender, said it was a dream come true. The 38 years young defender captained the team in 17 of 24 matches under Pochettino, and obviously he was the clear favorite going into this tournament. He is also in line. He's widely expected to be a contributor to the team, so he's going to be the oldest player to represent the United States at the Men's World Cup. So I know they celebrated that win out there in Charlotte because obviously he's a Charlotte's favorite son because he plays there. And then like I said, they celebrated that famous win just a couple of days ago against Senegal. And I say famous because it was the first time the U.S. had actually looked pretty good in the past couple of showings. They beat Senegal 3-2. Sergio Dest opened the scoring, and Christian Pulisic nabbed a first half goal and assist to put the U.S. up 2-0 early. Sadio Mane way to get the brace. The former Liverpool man got the second off of an Anthony Robinson mistake to tie the game. Flo Balogun got the winner off a driven Timmy Weah cross in the 63rd. Now the U.S.'s last match, last tune-up, is Saturday, June 6th versus Germany at 11:30 a.m. That's going to be in Chicago. And, of course, what we're going to be talking all about with Evan, the first World Cup match against Paraguay on Friday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. and talking everything in Los Angeles here coming up. And then, guys, y'all know soy ecuatoriano, so tengo que hablar de Ecuador and what they were up to, what they're doing. They've touched down here on U.S. soil, Ananda. They're currently in Columbus. I've been in Columbus, Ananda. It's really pretty, but I don't know how much they're gonna get into. It's kind of flat. But anyway, lovely people though. Had a good time there. But anyway, they're in Columbus. They recently beat Saudi Arabia 2-1, and that was actually in New Jersey. New Jersey got an early taste of what it would be like to have Ecuador there. They kind of dominated this match. 6 shots on target. Johnny Oboa had 2 assists in this one. The first for Jackson Poroso in the 35th minute got the goal off the free kick, and then Anthony Valencia got played in by Oboa to get Ecuador second. Sultan Mandash got a late one back for Saudi Arabia. Now Ecuador has not lost in 18 matches, y'all. This is, again, an Ecuador team that did not taste defeat in the qualifiers for a long time and finished just behind Argentina in spite of getting 3 points knocked off before they even went into qualifying. So they're in a good moment. I've mentioned a couple of different times, this is an Ecuador team that is probably the golden generation, if I do got to say so myself. Yeah. And then their next match, I mentioned they are going to be playing in Columbus, Ohio. That'll be Sunday, June 7th at 12 p.m. versus Guatemala. And then
one of the dark horses for sure.
Yeah, sure. Man, one of the dark horses for sure. And I mean, the la ilusión de los ecuatorianos ahorita está al top. Like, they're just, I mean, and it's beautiful, man, because you as an Arsenal fan will probably understand this, right? But Ecuadorians are kind of down on their soccer in general, right? And it's good to see them that they're proud of something right now. They're proud of the soccer team. They're proud of the moment. They're proud that William Pacho's a 2-time Champions League winner. They're proud that Hincapié is at Arsenal, So again, this is el momento de más grande ilusión. Yeah, man, they're in their moment. Following that up, we have Canada, who just played today, actually won 2-0 against Uzbekistan. Austin FC's Jaden Nelson scored the second. Their next match is against Ireland on Friday, June 2nd at 4:30 p.m. They're going to be based in Montreal, and their first World Cup match is Friday, June 12th versus Bosnia and Herzegovina at 12 p.m. in Toronto. Mexico popped off the other day, Ananda. I don't know if you saw it. They were at the Rose Bowl. Becky G was there. It was an occasion, man. 80,000 people. Johan scored the only goal of the match. Australia got the 1-0 win over Australia. Billy Zane was there, man. Billy Zane was there. Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard of in a while.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sitting with all 12 Australia fans. So they were having a good time. But yeah, their next match is going to be Thursday, June 4th at 7 p.m. In Toluca. Obviously, their first match kicks off the tournament on Thursday, June 11th at 12 in El DF. Lordy, I wish I was going to be there, but I'm going to be in the best city on earth. I've already mentioned it's going to be the center of the soccer world for the foreseeable future. But I've already talked about how the U.S. is going to be here. Ecuador is going to be in Columbus. Canada is going to be in Vancouver. Mexico obviously is going to be stationed in El DF. And then you have some other tournament favorites like France and Boston. England and Argentina are going to be sharing Kansas City, and Spain is in Chattanooga of all places. But like I mentioned, we have all our U.S. stars here stationed in Irvine, and that's why we thought it was appropriate. I mean, speaking of the U.S. being stationed in the LA area and the eyes of the world being on Los Angeles for the next few months, well, always really, but especially now with the World Cup, we thought it only right that we bring on one of the resident experts of LA and one of his favorite sons. He's agreed to join us tonight. I don't know how he was so gracious with his time, but we got lucky. Thank you to him. He's the creator of the very amazing and informative LA in a Minute and LA in a Minute podcast, which was named LA Podcast of Best LA Podcast by the Los Angeles Daily News in 2024. And Blood's been honored by the LA City Council also. That was in the same year. He's a fellow journalist, so that's something we have in common. His work has been featured on KCRW, Access Hollywood, LA Times, and Fox 11. Guys covered everything from the Nike Cortez to the mayoral candidates, LA's favorite food spots and hangouts, and now we're lucky enough to have him here. Please welcome to the show, Evan Lovett. Evan, thank you so much for joining us, man.
What is up, guys? Great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Oh man, so excited to have you. By the way, can we just recognize the levels here? Like, Evan is out here winning awards and getting honored by City Council. Rob, you and I are just on here to try to not get canceled. Like, can we just recognize the levels here? This is ridiculous.
That's true, Evan. We started this podcast so our wives wouldn't be in the house. Yeah, because we were just take them out to eat and just talk soccer all the time, and so they were like, do something with that energy, and that's why we're here.
It's a great, productive, cathartic resource, man. It's a good thing to be doing. So you just keep doing it, man. You do it for yourself. You don't do it for everybody else, man.
That's right. Yeah, it's funny, because we have such a good time doing it, and we talk about all the time how like, hey man, this is work, because we want to show like the folks something nice, but it's such like like that old cliche adage that labor of love, it's true. So, but like I said, thank you so much for being here, man. Like I said, you are one of, for me anyway, one of the authorities on Los Angeles. So I can imagine with everything going on right now in the city and then the World Cup coming here, you're kind of spoiled for choice on different things to cover, different events to see. What's on your calendar, man? What's going on with you?
I got to tell you this. I'm actually doing something for KNX next Friday on the 12th from Hollywood Park, actually. And this isn't even like one of the things, but Hollywood Park is doing a little World Cup, FIFA World Cup, like watching party. And I'm going to be going live with KNX with those guys like Mike and Margaret in the morning. I'm there every Friday morning doing stuff. But I want to ask you guys, honestly, what level of hype are you seeing throughout Los Angeles? How would you grade it, like a scale of 1 to 10?
That's a really good question. Rob, you want to take a stab at it?
No. I would say it's been incremental for sure. I would say as of 3 months ago, it was at a like 2.
Yeah.
And every month that goes by, it scales up a little bit. Yeah. But I don't know if you heard me mention about Becky G in the Mexico game, but like I saw pictures and videos of that game and the atmosphere, and I think we might be there. I think that was the game that signaled to me, like, yeah, that fever there, like, it's there. I wasn't there in person, but I hope it's at a 10. But right now, realistically, what I've seen, it's probably like at a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that too, it's the accessibility part that's been an issue that we've talked about on this show, which is the ticket prices and things like that. Now, one of the things that we want to talk about later is, give the information to everyone listening, everyone in chat, and that, guys, you still have an opportunity to participate. There's so many fan festivals, sort of game watches, community events that are free or like $10, and you can get in and basically watch a whole day of soccer. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys this anecdotally. So there was a Champions League final happening last weekend between Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain. And I literally had to go to an overflow bar because all of the bars were completely sold out in terms of capacity. Now, granted, that's club football, but that's club football and it's at the highest level. But all the bars, like the bar that I went to, they're already all getting ready for the World Cup. They have the decorations up and everything. And I feel like that energy and momentum is going to carry through. It'll be interesting to see what happens opening weekend, but I'm just going to give you that little anecdote just as a point of reference. But I think that once it gets to opening weekend, I think you'll see everyone have that fever, in my opinion.
I think that's the best point right there because look, LA, we know it. We always say it, sports fans wise, we support a winner, right? And this isn't that, but what I'm saying is wait till the event gets here. There's so many, again, the proverbial, there's so many things to do in LA. There's so many but once the week is here and the matches are right, not just on the horizon, but staring you in the face, it's going to be a little bit different energy. And you mentioned all the fan zones, man. That's going to be a really good time, whether it's Hampton Dam or South LA or Whittier Narrows. There's a lot at Union Station. They're really shutting down areas to have big ass parties that are going to be dope, man. And I think that's really going to be something you feel throughout the city.
No, I agree. I mean, there's almost, I was having this sixth sense of FOMO because it's almost overwhelming how many different things are going on and different parties and watch parties and stuff like that. And I think that's a good thing because you're fans are spoiled for choice. It's certainly an expansion on 94, right? Because everyone knows the World Cup was here in 94.
Yes.
And it was that was, the training wheels. And this is the big boy World Cup. This one is huge, right? So, Evan, do you remember the 94 version at all?
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up because I was going to turn you back. I was going to say, do you think everyone knows the World Cup was here in 94? Do you think the average person realizes that?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah, I do not.
We were there, we lived it, and it's funny you asked. Yeah. So you asked, do I remember? Listen, I'm going to be honest here. I grew up a kid in the Valley. Baseball was my thing. I'll just tell it like it is. My dad was one of those guys who was like soccer. He's like, you play it you can't use your hands. What's the point? That was my dad growing up. True. And, kid, father, like son. So all my buddies played AYSO. Towards the end, they started playing club or even high school and stuff like that. So I never paid attention. But then 94, the World Cup happens and you get these names, Tony Meola, Alexi Lawless and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't know, the world context or the U.S. context for the world's greatest game. But I saw the U.S. advancing and winning. And again, going to that point where everybody loves a winner, especially in America, it was exciting. It was fun. And then being that the final was at the Rose Bowl, I know U.S. wasn't involved. They got knocked out, but round of 16. But being that it was at the Rose Bowl and that then and now is one of the most historic venues around, legendary final penalty kicks, all that kind of stuff. It really did, at least for me, for a kid who didn't grow up knowing the sport at all, I was like, oh, wow, this is incredible. And you get that context of this is huge, man. This is bigger. And, this might be heresy. At least, okay, in 94, this was bigger than Dodgers, bigger than Lakers, Lakers post Magic, Dodgers during that post 88 era where they just went 15 years. But you know, in America, you're always like looking in, right? America centric.
Right.
Where it's the first time where I realized I'm like, dude, the world, the literal world cares about that. And you see it to that extent. And look, this might be a weird analogy, but I've always said college football is a really unique sport in the sense where you feel the fans' passion for something bigger than the sport, bigger, like it truly, and you say this now with every sport, oh, I'm playing for the name on the front, not the name on the back.
Pride,
No, like,
right.
college football, there's something deeply emotional. It's your region. It's your, and again, NIL is a whole different thing now, at least like until very recently. But soccer, that really is where you're living and dying by something. It's bigger than the game. It's the pride. It's the country. And I think 94 like was a time where for America and for a lot of Americans, such as myself, that was a huge breakthrough. And then truthfully, that dovetails into 99 in the Women's World Cup, which was
historic moment. Yep.
Also at the Rose Bowl. And again, let's call it what it is. Women's sports had been fighting for a long time to break into the mainstream. Yes, it was the Brandi Chastain moment, and that was such an indelible moment, not just for women's sports, but again, being here in LA and being a breakthrough where now, in retrospect, that's not just a big women's sports moment. That's a big moment in sports, period, and can kind of be looked at as the springboard for, you know, women's sports. I mean, it's been a long, treacherous journey, but look where we are now, you know, with like WNBA soccer, like Angel City, for goodness sake, like it's fun. People love it. It's like, it's so I think that was a big deal. And those things happen in LA. You said, you know, everybody knows, and I'm sure, you know, people watching this show realize it, but I'm excited to take it back to, you know, listen up. LA is an important World Cup city, not just for the hype right now, and then kind of use that to sort of drum up a little bit of historical context.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
LA in a minute likes to do. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, and then let's play on that LA bias a little bit more, and then you have the pivotal moment in 2006 where a world superstar, a global icon, Sir David Beckham, comes to LA, and that completely transforms the local league, MLS. Now, MLS was, you know, created in '96. It has its ups and downs. There's multiple stories of how, you know, it was going to fall underneath, but then that inflection point happens. And now if we're talking about LA, that now kicks off another chain of events going on after that. So, and then now, well, you have global superstars like Heung-min Son, and those types of things. So LA, man, like we got it good. We got it good for sure.
Got it good. It got the history, got the context, and got a big old party coming up. So
yeah, and we're about to make more history. I mean, you already spoke about two key pieces of history that have happened here. What are you looking most forward to here? The matches or the vibe?
All right, here's all I know. This, and I'm gonna keep it totally real. Every 4 years, I'm a soccer fan, and I love the World Cup. I lived in Seattle in 2002, and that was the year that the World Cup was split, I want to say, between Korea and Japan.
That's right.
Soccer was one of the first American hotbeds, and Seattle was one of the first American hotbeds for soccer. And those matches were like 2 a.m, crazy
Ooh, they
time.
were brutal.
And again, like I didn't know much, but I knew that was the era of my life where I like to party and have some fun. And getting up and go watch the matches at 2 a.m. was, again, so electric and exciting and fun and important seeming. And so every 4 years, I'm like, dude, World Cup, let's do this. Let's line it up. I now live in a Mexican household. You know, my wife's Mexican, my son's half Mexican. So we root for Mexico. We root for US. That's the best. I don't have any analysis for you, any outlook for you. One random one is Uruguay. We've always had a weird like infatuation with Uruguay. 1 year they went, I want to say they were in the top 4, maybe it was top 8.
Yeah.
So
when Forlan went off.
For oddly enough, but you know what? Like Mexico, US, that's what we're looking for. And we hope both those teams win in advance. I know nothing deeper. I think I read like US, half the people are new on the team, right? It's like half veterans and half new people, right? Something like that.
There's a good eclectic mix on the team. Like you have like old veterans, like not old veterans. I don't want to, you know, throw any shade on him.
Guys who were
experienced veterans like Tim Ream.
Yeah.
And then you have some newbies, right? But it's interesting. You should say, you know, like you should call out, you know, like you're not, you know, soccer isn't like your first sport, right? So I interestingly enough constructed a little personality soccer quiz for you to kind of get to know the soccer you, right?
Okay.
So
Wow.
Rapid fire though.
Here it goes. The World Cup final.
Yeah.
Would you rather be at the World Cup final or the Super Bowl?
World Cup final.
All right. Are you a fan of Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Man, knowing equally little but equally superficially enough about both. This is what I think from the outside, and I'm probably wrong, but Ronaldo, again, he's like strikingly handsome, pretty boy, blah, blah, blah. Messi, again, as an outsider, feels like the real, like greatest of all time. I'm not saying Pele or Maradona or any of those, but the modern GOAT. It feels to me that Messi organically is like a better player, scrappier player. I'm not going to call him an underdog, but I know he's undersized, and I don't know.
Undersized.
It appeals to me more. So I'm going to say Messi for sure for me.
I like it.
For sure. And you'll have a bunch of people that will be like, yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yep.
Yeah. All right. What's more your vibe? Packed watch party in a plaza or watching from your couch with a bunch of your family members?
Man, I've always taken flack for this for any sport, and this is still the truth. Although for World Cup it might be different. Listen, there's nowhere that beats watching a game in any sport on your sofa with your food, with your drinks, with your bathroom, with your sweats and t-shirt, and like lay down, stand up, walk around, go outside, smoke, take a shot, like you can't, best angles, best set. You cannot beat that experience. However, for something special like the World Cup, I'll tell you this for sure, since it's not a one match only thing, we're going to a fan zone. We're going to the Coliseum opening, what's their thing? The official fan festival.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good opportunity in LA to go do those things because those things are so fun. But yes, in a vacuum, look, dude, put it this way. You mentioned Super Bowl earlier. Sure, do one day I want to go to a Super Bowl, fine. But when you're watching the game and you care about the game, you can't beat the view on your couch. You just can't. So.
And then with all your peoples, well, I only have two more here on the rapid fire here for you. And one is kind of going to be for chat as well, because I don't know if you know, Evan, but the World Cup final has traditionally been a very straight up affair. It's not like the Super Bowl where there's a halftime show and all this stuff like that. Yeah. But this year, it's the first year there's going to be one. Chat, let us know what you think about the halftime show, if you're for it or not. Evan, halftime show, yes or no?
Wow. I just read that. Who's it going to be? It's got to be somebody super big, right? It's Madonna. Okay, I'm like Madonna.
I don't even know. Was it like Coldplay or Dua Lipa?
Is this true?
So I'm looking this up. Madonna, Shakira, and BTS. Does that sound right?
What?
All right. Listen, this is the truth. I used to, again, I grew up on Michael Jackson. Nice. We were just talking about the Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake. I always thought the halftime shows were a little bit corny. We used to go play football during halftime, so rah, rah, rah. But honestly, man, since it's become this high level production, what was it? Kendrick, it was Bad Bunny, the one in LA where it was Dre, Snoop, 50 Cent, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. I'm probably forgetting. Who'd you say? 50. And actually Kendrick had a cameo on that one. But I was like, this is pretty dope. This is a very high bar. But if it's perfect and it's something I've never seen, because in the LA one, they did that map of Compton and they were so choreographed. Kendrick's was super choreographed. The Bad Bunny one, telling the story, Villas Tacos, all that kind of stuff, Villas Tacos, all that stuff. Yes, I was if you do it to that extent, all right, it's dope. But then again, naturally, normally, I'm no, I like the analysis. I'm a hardcore, tell me what's going on. Let's talk about it. It's why we're watching this show right now. I want to see guys who know, girls who know, talk about the sport and give me the real analysis. Madonna, historically fine. BTS, I know nothing. Shakira could put on an entertaining show, but
she does a good show. Especially someone the other day said that Shakira is to the World Cup what Mariah is to Christmas, and I thought that was beautiful.
Oh,
I like that analogy.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
All right, last one for you. USA winning the World Cup or the Lakers win another title next year?
Ooh.
Listen, it would be I can't even imagine what the world would do if the US won the World Cup. Like, it seems so outlandish and such. And here's what's weird too. I feel like soccer football is one of the only things where US is ever an underdog, and like, is it this heartwarming story of this little underdog? Like in most cases, I think I'd like to see the US win the World Cup, because people's reactions would be crazy, even on the political spectrum. I wonder, like, I'm a fan of observing human behavior, and I wonder, like, the natural celebration would be dope, but I'd also like to see, like, all the haters and the people like talk shit about soccer, and like, I'd like to see, like, that now all of a sudden they're jumping on the bandwagon. Of course they would. Now all of a sudden they jump on the bandwagon, all this kind of stuff, and it'd be a very interesting human experience. I'll take US win the World Cup for sure.
It would definitely be an interesting human experiment, experience. It, all of a sudden, could you imagine USA wins the World Cup and Mauricio Pochettino is called the best manager in the world and everything like that, and you're like, wow, just a couple of weeks ago, people were like, who is this guy? That'd
be Don Garber's wet dream. So
oh my God, it would. Don Garber would love it so much. AC Milan, not so much, but
no.
Guys, the halftime show isn't the only thing that's different about the World Cup this year. The World Cup this year is going to be the first time with 48 teams instead of 32. You have some newbies this time as well. Uzbekistan, Jordan, Cape Verde, Curacao are in. Curacao obviously is in Ecuador's group, so really interested in them. That means with so many teams, there are 12 groups this time of 4 teams. Obviously, the top 2 advance in each group, as usual. But then you also have the 8 best third-place teams, making this the largest World Cup ever at 104 matches. And like I said, this is also the first World Cup that is hosted by 3 different countries, the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. All 3 really have a decent enough chance to make it out of their group. Mexico has the easiest projected chance to make it out of the group. Guys, honestly, the U.S. has a hard group with Turkey, Australia, and Paraguay. But anything less and making out of the group will be seen as a failure now that they're here on home soil and playing this tournament. All this makes this, again, for me, unquestioned center of the soccer universe for the next 6 weeks. And the center of that center for me will be Los Angeles. So, Evan, what's about to happen in Los Angeles? What do you think LA is actually going to look like when the World Cup starts?
Okay, I saw this earlier in the show. Somebody mentioned, I missed the commenter's name, but somebody said, don't forget LA has the Olympics. But I think that this is a very big, what do they call that? A dress rehearsal, if you will. And I'm not downplaying FIFA World Cup, because it's one of the world's most important and hugest events. Yeah. But I think LA is going to feel very, how do I say this? It's not going to be locked down, but we're going to see some cleaning. We're going to see some homeless removal. And, there's some human rights issues at play, and I understand all this, but I think that especially in an election year, I'm not getting political, but I'm saying, like, city councils aware, mayors aware, statewide legislators are aware, especially. And I think everybody knows this is a high pressure situation. They don't want anything to go wrong. And they know that we may or may not be prepared for the Olympics as of now, a couple of years away. So people are going to want to prove it. And I think that you're going to see a lot of organization, a lot of people trying to come together to make sure that, public transit, areas are cleared out, areas are open, areas are accessible. You're going to see a force and an enforcement of safety, I think, to be honest with you, because people don't want any negative headlines, and they come at a higher cost than usual right now. But you know what? There's probably going to be protests. There's probably going to be ICE protests. I think it's going to be a not polarizing. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a celebration because the parties are going to be great, but there's going to be some reporting on a lot of other factors. And it's going to say like, all right, up next is the Super Bowl and then the Olympics. And people are going to have to learn to see what went wrong. We're going to see what kind of coverage, what kind of, enforcement there's going to be for better or for worse. That's what people are looking at because the tip of everybody's tongue right now, honestly, whenever I talk, it's crime, it's homeless, it's all this kind of stuff. It's economy. What are prices going to be? How much are beers going to be at SoFi? Like all that parking, getting to the venues, man. Like this is, they wanted the Olympics to be a no car Olympics, which is honestly impossible, but they're going to be pushing it. And I think that they're using this and they're going to say like, all right, this is people from all around the world. LA needs to show up and show up well, and we're going to put our best foot forward. But it's really with a bigger picture in mind, I think.
Yeah, and Rob, I know you have an anecdote about this, but speaking on the infrastructure bit, Evan, I mean, even, I think I was at the airport maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed like the people movers weren't working yet, and I know that they were trying to get that to get going, and I just read an article that it wasn't done until August. So like those key infrastructure projects that they haven't been able to get off the ground, I hope that doesn't have a huge impact, but I know like there's some things that are unfortunately not on schedule. I mean, is that maybe the infrastructure stuff? Is that the thing that pulls your hair out a bit, or is there something else based off of all your coverage?
Listen, the trend, everything. It's funny because everything I report on, whether it's La Brea tar pits closing, the 405 traffic, the LAX is all like expected to finish by 2028. People movers missed it. People mover was supposed to be live in 2022. Let's start there. So that's fair. Keeping on going. It's at least in testing right now. They're like almost there. But truthfully,
almost.
And again, like I think that for whatever reason, the big deadline was the Olympics for everybody. I know World Cup, Super Bowl, it does not get bigger than that. But everything is like supposed to finish by 2028. And again, these shortcomings, at least as of now, calendar wise, are going to be things that they're going to be like, listen, we're going to zip it up. That's going to be fixed by 28. And a lot of chips are being pushed to the table for 2028 and they're working on it. But it, 2 weeks, they're not going to have any major progress, enough major progress in 2 weeks. Right. So we're kind of like, this is what we're going to be. LAX terminals are being demolished and renovated. Burbank also, I don't even know if you guys know, Burbank airport terminals are being demolished and replaced. So all this infrastructure is coming in prep for the Olympics. So right now it's sort of in flux, but we make it work. It's LA at the end of the day. We'll make it work. And people come here, it's going to work. It's the greatest city on the globe. So, I mean, we'll make it work, but we'll learn from whatever shortcomings there may be.
That's interesting because, as a soccer show, we our North Star, I guess, has always, been the World Cup. Like we said at the top of the show, we've been talking about this specific World Cup, especially because it's going to be on home soil for years. So I didn't even fathom. I didn't even think like, oh, the actual deadline is not the World Cup. The actual deadline is actually the Olympics.
That's
that's funny perspective, right? No, that's crazy. Chat, I got another one for you guys. LA is on US soil. Does that make them have the most pressure right out of the gate? Guys, let us know. Ananda, same question for you. Does that, US being here in Los Angeles make it so that they have the most pressure? Or is it somebody like France or maybe your Spain?
I mean, I think naturally it does. I mean, you're going to have all of the media scrutiny, all of the talking heads, like people like us all the way to like national broadcasters, right? And people that are working for Fox, are working for Telemundo, are working for Deportes, like all those nationally televised media outlets. But I'm going to say two things on this, Rob, which is number one, I don't actually think it's going to compare to the level of scrutiny that Mexico is going to have with their games at their home soil. That's one thing. So I think there's what's the saying? There's levels to this, right? That's one thing I want to add. And the second thing is, I think the expectation of the U.S. team isn't like a France or a Spain to reach the World Cup final. So I think that in and of itself has a little bit less pressure. But I will say that as the U.S. team advances or maybe not advance. Like if they don't get it out of the group, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny. There's going to be another Taylor Twelman rant on ESPN, on Fox. There's going to be rants from all these ex-players like we saw in that particular year when the U.S. didn't qualify. But as the U.S. advances further, yes, there will be natural pressure. But like I said, I don't think it's going to compare to the Mexican national team pressure. They are under a lot of pressure from what I'm seeing with all the media around them, especially tú sabes, papá, cómo está la prensa en México. Woo, salvajes, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Evan, you mentioned you're in a Mexican household.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys have the Mexican national team games circled. Is there a higher sense of tension in the household when Mexico plays than when the U.S. plays?
Oh, absolutely. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, it's absolutely more important to be frank. I think that like there's more of even though I know that the Mexican team hasn't unfortunately accomplished a ton, recent decades, so to speak. There's still an expectation because it is Mexico and because it's such a proud sport and there is a lineage there. And the Mexico World Cup was one of the most historic and impactful World Cup tournaments, but there's just a bigger sense of pride about it. Let's call it what it is, where it's, again, It goes back to the U.S. thing. Yeah, they're a quote unquote underdog, but it's not that lovable, scrappy underdog. It's just like it's an underdog because they're kind of an afterthought. And, people are going to jump on board people be happy, people be excited. But when U.S. loses in our household, it's like, oh, okay, like that sucks. But when Mexico loses, it's like, all right, it's a different kind of vibe, sadness.
Chant that comes on when Mexico loses in the house.
Yes, and a little different kind of drinking. You drink to celebrate, you drink to forget. Different kind of.
We call it Modelo Foos on this pod.
Yeah.
Modelo hour. Yeah, there you
go. Sad fool hours for sure.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, guys, we've talked about this already. I mean, LA is one of the centers of this World Cup. It's actually hosting 8 matches. It's tied with New York and Atlanta as the city with the most matches, including the U.S. opener against Paraguay on Friday, June 12th. Besides that, the U.S. will also be back on Thursday, June 25th against Turkey. The other matches are June 15th, Iran versus New Zealand, June 18th, Switzerland versus Bosnia and Herzegovina, and June 21st against that's Belgium versus Iran. And then there are actually a couple of knockout phases games, 2 round of 32 games. Group A winners play Group B winners, and then another one, Group H winners play Group J winners, and then the quarterfinal. You guys were probably like, what does Group A and Group B and Group H and Group J mean? Well, I'm going to tell you, y'all. That means that Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, or Czechia, one of those teams will come out of Group A and play somebody from Group B, which is Canada, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland. So imagine that matchup could be Mexico versus Canada here in Los Angeles in the second round, or conversely, Group H versus Group J, which is, Group H, you have a tournament favorite in Spain. Then you also have Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay, which is Evans, got something close to his heart for Uruguay.
There you go.
And then you have Group J, which is Argentina and Messi, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. So then you can conceivably have a second round matchup of Leo Messi and Argentina and Spain's world stars, right? So, Evan, what do you think? Which matchup do you think would create the most insane atmosphere?
I mean, look, if it were possible for U.S. and Mexico to match up, come on, man. Like, you're not going to be able to beat that here. That's for sure. But that would have to be in the finals, right?
I don't know how the breakdown.
Yeah.
The
math gets too complicated then.
Sorry about this, chat. We actually haven't gotten through the permutations yet. I don't know where they would meet actually. I don't know if it's the final. I believe I read somewhere that it might be like the quarterfinal or the semifinal, but yeah, we'll verify that.
Matchup would be nuts. And if there were any way that was at SoFi, oh my God, that would be ridiculous. That would be so tickets for the Dodgers World Series in 24 were like $1,200 to sit in the reserve. I bet you would, I actually know for sure, you would be $3,000 for get-in price for that game or something like that. Have you guys talked about ticket prices yet today?
That's something we've talked about a bunch of times on the show, and
we can talk about it.
Yeah, no, we could definitely talk about it because it's a big
Friction
thing. I
point,
mean,
for sure.
you mentioned Angel City earlier. A couple of their players were talking about it in a press conference. Yesterday actually, and on how they wanted to take their children, but they can't swing the tickets, and we spoke to Landon Donovan, Captain America himself.
Yeah.
Right. We spoke to him when he was on his book tour, and he told us that FIFA's not shooting him down any tickets. The U.S. Soccer Federation isn't shooting him down any tickets, and he's like, "Yeah, I may not go because tickets are $2,000 for me too."
For Captain America.
For Captain America. Right? And you're just like, wow, they're really trying to rake in the dough here on this one. But yeah, I mean, we've seen it in chat, about 300 to park a mile away from SoFi.
God, I didn't even think to look at parking yet. Oh my God, dude. I'll tell you this though, I did look at the secondary today, and I'm seeing for the Iran match, $301 for a get-in price. I forget who they play in their first match.
New Zealand.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, just to go, that's like a pretty decent get-in price. And then the US tickets are down to about $1,000, which is when I was first looking, they were $1,950. So I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Still well out of my price range, especially for 3, but I selfishly like to see them coming back down, but it's still a ways to go before it's affordable for me or Landon Donovan, I guess.
Yeah, no, a bunch of athletes, honestly. I mean, I honestly can consider myself lucky that I was able to snap up on some Ecuador tickets. I'll be in New York, guys, so I'll be boots on the ground covering Ecuador there. So I mean, but like that was one of those things. Luckily, Evan, wifey, she's Ecuadorian and she's huge into soccer as well. So she was like, Ecuador in the World Cup in New York, let's do that. So, but let's go ahead and talk about these fan events, right? Because for the ones that couldn't afford tickets, like Ananda said at the top of the show, there are options, and there are a bunch of options. Like I said, just maybe so many that you will have fun with that you can't hit them all. But all the fan events have already kind of started here, because there was the Mexico match the other day, which was a party, and then Qatar versus El Salvador is going to pop off on Saturday, June 6th at BMO. We were actually talking about this earlier about the World Cup fever catching in, and I really think this is like the 12-day lead up to, like I said, incrementally getting more and more crazy, more and more fever pitch. And then on the 11th, we have the official fan festival at the LA Coliseum. That's actually going to be for the 14th. Tickets are starting at $10 a day. Children 12 and under are free. Guys, here's a quick graphic for what you can expect. There's going to be a bunch of fan-friendly activities, live music, food, and then just thought we should mention that our good friend Evan here dropped an episode of the official FIFA Fan Fest happening at the LA Coliseum. Evan, what has you excited about that event?
Look, Coliseum is crazy historic. Every time I set foot in that thing, you get the proverbial chills for all the history that went down there, about to be the 3rd building ever to host an Olympics, etc. But Exposition Park is just coming up. The area is big. Keeps expanding. They threw the Lucas Museum in there now. Like you said, BMO. But it's going to be a big party, man. Huge screens, live entertainment, all kinds of activations. I think that, to the point you brought up earlier, would you rather watch a game on your couch or with a bunch of people or whatever? That's a good kind of vibe, because you're going to be out, you're going to be walking around, you're going to have stuff to do between the matches, multiple matches. And whenever you get caught up, I'm imagining like a Vegas sports book or something. when there's just a really good match, really good game, and everybody's into it. You got a little bit riding on it, and all of a sudden the tension ratchets up. It's like 88th minute or something. Like, it's going to be pretty special. And I think being around that many people in LA, feeling that electricity, because like you said, day by day by day, it's incrementally going to get bigger and better. And this really is like the kickoff fan festival. $10 is a good get-in price. I know they should be free, but I get it. Yeah. And it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a big deal, and it's the kickoff, and sure beats the hell out of paying $1,000 for a ticket. So,
well, Cuneros, I'm going to be there covering that event. So if you're there, come say hi. I'll be the guy walking around filming everything and doing a bunch of interviews. You'll see me. Guys, besides the Coliseum, there's going to be tons of events all over the city. Yeah. Everything from stuff happening here in Downey, where I'm very close to Hanson Dam, which Evan brought up earlier, to the beach at Venice Beach on the 11th, to Burbank, which we also mentioned earlier on the 18th and 19th. So much stuff happening. The website is on the screen where you can find all the official Los Angeles fan events and fan zones. There's a bunch of bars. There's a bunch of different events. I know that AMC is going to be showing games that you can go ahead and watch on their big screens. And the Galaxy as well, they're going to be doing, for all my Galaxy fans that are out there and that are usually here to see their Galaxy content. Well, the Galaxy is doing a couple celebrations as well. Long Beach, they have popping off on the 12th, and that culminates on Saturday, June 27th. Then they have something happening in Carson as well, the 4th through the 7th, and then at Hermosa Beach. Wow. If you're a beach doggy, then
that's gonna be pretty dope.
Yeah, man, it's go ahead and throw on your sandals. You're sipping a Modelo, watching the game on Hermosa Beach. What can beat that, right? Well, maybe the free Adidas sponsored watch party at BMO with Big Peso Pluma throwing a free show. Yeah, man. So
that's huge, bro. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pull up with the wife and do that one, man. For free event calendar, full event calendar rather, at Los Angeles FWC26.com. Not to put LA against each other or the LA region against each other, but all parts of LA. You're all over, right? You've been in all different communities. What part of LA do you think will feel the tournament the most? Where do you think is going to go down the best?
Depends what type of fans you're into, right? So if I go to, like, let's say the East Valley, there's a lot of like hardcore soccer fans out there that are real ones. Downtown and let's say it's through the West Side, you have a lot of call it new generation soccer fans, which are a little bit different. Again, I'm not trying to paint with a broad brush. I'll tell you this. I want to give a shout out to your Galaxy fans because I did a lot of LAFC work originally, and I got reminded and pounded constantly.
They will do that. They are merciless.
It was 5 banners at the time. I think they would just won their 6th. Their last one was their 6th, or was their 5th?
That's right. It was the 6th. Yeah.
6. Yes. So I was reminded. So I know Galaxy fans are hard and they're legit, and that's dope. And they did not like to get usurped by the fancy uniform, the kit, and like BMO Stadium and all that stuff. So they they dug in their heels. What area? I mean, again, you go to like East LA, Boyle Heights. I was just on City Terrace. I think it's live. I think it's everywhere. Let's call it what it is, man. I'll be honest. Like, Los Angeles is a Latino city. Soccer, football is a Latino sport. Yes, it's embraced around the world. But like, again, I feel that the soul and the heart is where the culture is. And like, yeah, you play and we play, but where you grew up playing, where your family grew up, and it was like blood, sweat, and tears, it means more. It's more serious. And I think that's why LA is a great city in in the United States, like as a host. Like you guys said, it's the culmination of, probably the capital of North American soccer, like just as far as number of fans, volume. So throughout the city is going to be excited, but listen, just the one I know, because I'm a Valley guy, like my East Valley peeps. That's why I'm going to the Hanson Dam event, because that's going to be pretty dope out
that'll
there.
Be pretty.
Yeah. I heard about that the other day, and I was like, sheesh, pulling up, watching some games while, sipping on a Mai Tai poolside. Why not? That sounds lovely. Guys, there's going to be a lot of diverse fan bases here. We already know that. LA is a melting pot. Some of the larger communities here, their countries are actual tournament favorites. Like a bunch of Argentinos are here. Their country is one of the tournament favorites. Brazil, a perennial favorite, along with a lot of other immigrants here to Los Angeles from Spain, France. Shout out to all the Marseille folks and at Saturday Footy. And then we have our dark horses like Ecuador, Senegal, Norway. Jakob Glesnes was talking about how he was pumping up Norway. So with LA being such like that melting pot of diverse cultures, what is that going to be like? Like you're going to have, Spain parties like, right next to, parties from Senegal or Ghana, like what is that flavor going to be like?
Dude, listen. So that one of the stalwart facts that I always go back to with Los Angeles, and one of the most fun things about living in this city, one of the most prideful things is, again, more Mexicans anywhere outside of Mexico, more Salvadorans anywhere outside of El Salvador, more Australians anywhere outside of Australia, more Ugandans than anywhere, more Thai people, Cambodians. So whoever you're supporting, there's going to be parties, there's going to be venues. There's going to be areas to celebrate and have fun. I mean, in, again, the Valley, just because that's what I know. In Van Nuys, there's the spot. Oh, my God, I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, my God, there's a South African bar. Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, my God, we grew up going there. Springbok.
Oh, we know the Springbok. Yeah.
Of course. So they get legit.
That's actually an LA Galaxy watch party bar.
Okay, so there you go. And there's a lot of these right down the street from us. It's like Fox and the Hounds, which is like a British, So, I mean, they not only exist, but they're going to be going nuts. And that's like the life of the party. That's for the true heads that know, people just want to party and observe and take it all in like me. Let's go to the fan zone. Let's go to the fan festival. But I know like the serious folks are going to be with their countrymen, like rooting like hell at the real places. And those are going to be all over the city. And I'm willing to bet 48 team field, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody should put this together. Somebody, not LA in a minute. No, just kidding. Somebody should put this together. But to find 48 venues, one for each, like if you're Bosnia, our next door neighbors are Bosnia.
That's such a good story.
They've been trying to go to the Bosnia Switzerland game, and like they're waiting for ticket prices to come down. It's like they're not going to come down. They did. But they're Bosnian, and I'm like, I wonder where there's like a Bosnian watch party. There has to be, right? Like, I mean, this is LA, so that'll be kind of fun. Somebody should dig around Reddit and put that together, man. Maybe
that would be a really fun project. Evan, we got just one or two more for you. We thank you so much for your time, and obviously we know you don't need our help with this, but please go ahead and tell the folk where they can find you.
At LA in a minute, any platform, or just type in LA in a minute on Google, Chat GPT, Claude, Grok, whatever you're using, you're going to find it. You type in LA in a minute. If you love this city, if you're infatuated with this city, if you want to learn about this city, I think it's a great resource because, again, this is the greatest city on the globe. So many reasons: history, culture, food, sports, all of it. We love this place. And if you love LA, follow LA in a minute.
Yeah, y'all got it. Like I said at the top, I mean, blood covers everything, diverse. So, like, honestly, one day, we're talking politics. One day we're talking food, and that's the beautiful part about LA is that it has all those facets. Evan, let's wrap this up here. Like I said, two more here for you. What's the most LA thing that could happen during this tournament?
Wow, what an interesting. What is the most? What's the most LA thing is that it's going to go off beautifully and it's going to be celebrated, and just like the '84 Olympics. Or the 2025 World Series, 88 World Series, when LA needs to shine, when LA needs to be at its best, it's at its best. You're going to see some great matches, great fans, great fan events, And that's what LA is all about, because LA shines when the eyes of the world are on it. So that's what the most LA thing is going to be.
I
Love
love that answer.
Yep.
Last one for you. So a bunch of tourists are going to be here in Los Angeles.
Ooh.
Not everyone is going to go to every game. You know, probably they're going to go to one game, if any. So what's the one thing they have to experience in Los Angeles that isn't a match?
Dude, you know, there's so many. Again, you could say the beach, you could say the mountains, you could say the food.
We got it all, y'all.
It's really all. You could say Dodger Stadium. It's really all of that. But listen, I think the best, just in honor of you know, saving money, to not spending anybody else's money, go to Griffith Park, take a hike, get up to that observatory and see the city. Tom LeBon's panorama, the highest 360-degree view in all of Los Angeles. And there's so many things to do. It's not just a hike. The observatory in itself is a day, but you see Ferndale, the zoo is over there, Gene Autry Museum. Yeah, go to Griffith Park, because there's so much. And it really is like this vast naturescape in the middle of a city on a mountain that just doesn't exist in many places. And in fact, nowhere else in the United States. So you got to go there.
I love that shout. That's a great shout.
Y'all heard it. Definitely anytime we have visitors from out of town, we take them there. So
that's right.
Guys, I want you to show Evan a lot of love. I mean, he, again, just very, very gracious with this time, and we're very happy to have you. Your open invitation. You're always invited to the Carne Asada, man. You have a home here, bro.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, I have an appetite, so be careful. Just be ready when I roll through. Just be ready.
We'll get the pork shoulder in there too.
I'm sensing a taco eating battle, and I love that for us. I love it for us. Evan, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Please show him a lot of love. Go show him some love on his socials. Man, stop by anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas. Rob, Ananda, it was a great time, and we're excited about the World Cup, man. Stay posted. Now I got to start working on the 48 bars, one for every country. Let's see if I can put that together. But it's been a minute, and I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. We'll catch you soon, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Guys, you heard from Evan on what is going to be probably the most monumental World Cup in history, and it's all going down here in Los Angeles, y'all. It's gonna be a watershed moment for Los Angeles to go ahead and show off what the city is, the beauty of our culture, the beauty of our architecture, art, you name it. It's going to be possible here in the next couple of weeks as the world's eyes descend here. Ananda, number one takeaway from what Evan talked about.
It's not necessarily what he talked about, but it's how he made me feel, if that makes sense, Rob. Like, he made me feel just more excited, just more, looking forward to it. And honestly, like, maybe this is like from a position of gratitude and humility. I am really lucky I live in a place like this. Like, it makes you realize, like, all the things that he was talking about, whether it was culture or certain spots that he was talking about, Griffith Park, all the cities that we're talking about, like, and where all the fan zones will be. It makes you, like, it just puts you in a sense of gratitude. You're like, hey, like, this is a pretty awesome place that we live in. And this is going to be a really, really good tournament. And hopefully, like, we can see the brighter side of things. Is like, I know there's a lot of, like I said on top of the show, there's ticket prices and infrastructure. We talked about those things, and yes, those things are realities. But when the tournament starts, and if you're a fan of this game, like, I just think all that stuff goes out the window, and you just enjoy it for what it is, right? And we stop being cynical, at least for the 90 minutes, and we just enjoy the moment.
Yeah,
and I think that's what I took away from that conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's, those 90 minutes in, I think there's a space and time to criticizing those, like, the things.
Yep.
Yeah, like the things that we've talked about, which we have talked about, and then there's a time to celebrate and talk about the things that are positive and things that we perceive as positive, and that's okay. You can chew and drink water at the same time. Sorry, not that. You can walk and drink at the same time.
Yeah.
Sorry, late night. But anyway, two things can be possible. But like I said, it's going to be a beautiful couple of weeks. Ananda, I really do feel like a couple of years from now, people will look at this, especially because Evan talked about how this is kind of like the lead up to the Olympics, right? I think that people are going to look at this and be like, okay, that was a good springboard for that.
Yeah, I agree. And everything's, it's almost like a test run, but it is like it's definitely like a lead into it. I wish maybe, the World Cup wasn't seen as much of a testing ground, but again, I think that still, I think they're still going, like, I guess when we look back at this and all the things that are going to pop up on social media and YouTube over the next couple of, like, what's going to transpire over the next month and a half, I think we're going to look back on that and say, hey, this was awesome. Kind of like, again, to a lesser degree completely, but kind of like what we saw in the FIFA World Cup, right? There was a lot of like this is a nothing tournament, whatever. But then afterwards, like, us having conversations with like Keith Costigan, we see all these images and party atmospheres and people coming together and all that stuff. Like, that was a beautiful thing, right? And like sometimes sport does that, especially when it's on the global scale. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't think we're I honestly, I think something of this magnitude is just impossible to fathom unless you're living it in the moment. Like when I try to describe to people what the Brazil World Cup was like, and I'm sure when you've tried to describe to people what the Qatar World Cup was like, words don't do it justice, right? So
That's right.
Hopefully we get to make those kinds of memories here. Next on La Cuna Mundialista, as we wrap it up here, guys, on Thursday, June 4th, we'll break down our focus teams, Ecuador, Spain, and the U.S., their groups, key matchups, and examine their chances of making the next round. We hope to have a couple of wonderful guests for you on that one, as well as we kick off the World Cup coverage here. Again, we want to say thank you to Evan Levitt of LA in a Minute, who was here joining us.
That was awesome.
And yeah, like I said,
and I hope
one of LA's favorite sons, man.
Yeah, and I hope everyone in chat, I know this was kind of a little bit different of a show, but we definitely wanted to double down and really chronicle and really celebrate the city, right? And the fact that this is going to be one of the key, Rob said it in somewhere in the show, tied with New York and another city for the most World Cup matches, so, and Atlanta. So guys, I think we have to embrace it, and I hope you guys enjoyed like a little bit of that LA flavor, that LA spin from a guy that knows LA probably a lot better than a majority of the folk out there. I mean, he does his work. Evan is a really good resource. Again, I encourage you guys to follow him at LA in a Minute. You can find him on all the socials, like he said. So hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did enjoy that, just a little reminder to go ahead and like this video, subscribe, share it, do whatever you need to do with it. But spread the love. And like I said, there was a lot of good information on this one too. So, I mean, man, even Evan didn't know about that Peso Pluma, Papa. So there you go. Sometimes everyone, learns something new every day. So yeah, a lot of good info. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed it, do us a little favor and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And we will be back with a little bit more sort of like soccer head talk on Thursday when we preview those matches.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit more into normal programming here on Thursday, guys. But we definitely, like Ananda said, wanted to bring you a World Cup love letter to Los Angeles of sorts, and we're really glad that Evan could join us. Nightmare, hopefully therapy is going okay. Yeah, you can let go right now. They're not hurting you.
Exactly.
GCam, thank you so much for the super chat. Ready, Ananda? On 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, he got the bass in his voice on that one. GCam, thank you so very much for the super
chat. Thank you, Papa. Thank you for joining.
Guys, look for us on Thursday.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
And yeah, this was the first episode of La Cuna Mundialista, and we'll be back with you soon. And Ananda, I actually didn't really think this part through. There's usually one thing left to say,
just say it, man.
Nos vemos en el Mundial, y'all. Nos vemos en el Mundial. We'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
And G's up. See ya.